Hello!
This video spoils all the major areas in Dark Souls 3. If you haven't beat the game and want to stay spoiler-free, come back later and watch a different video in the meantime. One of the core elements of the Dark Souls series is the intricate and carefully crafted layout of the game's open worlds. Each game has its own unique style. Dark Souls 1 is one of the greatest examples of 3D Metroidvania-style level design, with winding paths leading the player through its many interconnected areas. Dark Souls 2's world, on the other hand, adopted a hub-and-spoke design, with every major path connected to the central hub area, Majula. Dark Souls 3's world has changed the formula again by having a single linear path with a few short branches in the entire game that takes the player through many large and locally interconnected areas reminiscent of those in Dark Souls 1, sometimes very reminiscent. This design incorporates both the comforting central hub that the player warps back to from Dark Souls 2 and the sprawling interconnected areas of Dark Souls 1. I could make an hour-long video going into just the fine details of how these worlds compare, but today, we're simply interested in the linear path the player takes in Dark Souls 3. Before we set off, we need to choose our route. As I mentioned, the path the player takes is linear, but there are a fair few branches along the way. We'll run through the world in the way the player needs to in order to progress along the main linear path, with maybe a few shortcuts here and there. So our first stop is the bonfire at the Deacons of the Deep boss room. But we start here in the Cemetery of Ash, like every Unkindled, before moving on, past Gundir's bonfire, and this poor guy. And now we've made it to our first warp here in Firelink Shrine. We're going to take the bonfire from Firelink Shrine to the High Wall of Lothric to continue our journey. Now we'll take the elevator shortcut so we don't have to run through the entire area, and proceed on through Vord of the Boreal Valley's boss room. On a regular playthrough, those crazy looking lanky gargoyles would carry you onwards to the Undead Settlement, but we're in a hurry so we'll just skip it. From here we run through the undead chasing us in the area until we cross this bridge and quickly check that we've got the Silver Cat ring so that this fall doesn't hurt us too much. Drop down here, scram on over to the elevator where we meet Seaward, and we're on our way to the Road of Sacrifices. Now we pass through Halfway Fortress, down into the Crucifixion Forest, through everyone in it, and then up through the old Crystal Wizard's boss room. We go a little bit further, past the giant bonfire, to this actual bonfire, and we're almost there. Maybe we take a little rest. Up the stairs we go, and before you know it, damn you zombie dogs, we're here at the Cleansing Chapel, which is at the base of the Cathedral of the Deep. We take this door and get into the cathedral itself and trudge through this giant's crap to get up these stairs, through these cathedral nights, and voila! We've made it! We're at the Deacons of the Deep bonfire. This is where you receive the small doll key item. It'll let us enter Irithyll later. Now in a normal playthrough after you beat the Deacons, you should probably go back to Firelink Shrine first to level up and prepare, but I already smashed those guys and we're already prepared, baby! Let's keep going, back to the Road of Sacrifices. We're starting again at the Halfway Fortress, and now our destination is Anor Londo, where we'd find Aldrich, one of the Forest Lords of Cinder. So this time we go off through the swamp, down this ladder here, which takes us into, what do you know, another swamp, fair and keep. It's a good idea to equip a weapon with the Quick Step weapon art here. That'll allow us to get through the deep poison stuff quicker than rolling or walking. Now we just skip past these crazy tree monsters, and up this path, past the two dark grates, and into the Abyss Watcher's boss room. But wait, what are we doing? If we're going to use every shortcut we can to make this journey a little easier, then we can just take this door here in the Crucifixion Forest straight to the outskirts of the Abyss Watcher boss room. Hooray!
Very good!
Alright, we soldier on from the Abyss Watcher boss room down into the Catacombs of Karthus. Don't like spooky, scary skeletons? That's fine, we can skip the first half of the catacombs by dropping down these ledges on the right as we enter. Fun fact, while we're here, if you kill these skeletons with the hats, the big ol' undead Indiana Jones balls will stop rolling. Here we are now almost through the catacombs. We just have to make sure to cut this bridge behind us so that the horde of skeletons on the other side stays there. This is the bridge that turns into a ladder and takes you down to Smoldering Lake, but we don't need to go there. It's entirely optional. Now past Wolnir's Wacky Skull Cup, we exit into Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. Across this bridge and up this path, we'll pass the Church of Yorshka and take this side path, which you unlock after going through Irithyll once. We've made it into another boss room. the cathedral where you fight Pontiff Sullivan. We've come a long way. Maybe it's time for another nap here in the pews. Carrying on, we could go straight out here into the popular PvP area, but there's an elevator here in the boss room you can activate that takes us up to the upper level outside, and there's a door here you can unlock that takes you to the level above that. We just have to shimmy past the Silver Knights and activate the spinning spiral staircase to take us up to Anor Londo, and we're almost at Aldrich. We go through the giant hall here you can get to once you open this grand door, and we'll shoot right on through into the building. That's the old stomping grounds of Drake and Josh, Beanpole and Fatty, Ornstein and yeah. In this game, it's occupied by good old St. Aldrich of the Deep. We've done it again! We made it to the end of one of the branches. Now we just have to get to the very end of the world, sort of. The profaned capital, where we'll find Yorm the Giant. So we'll warp back to this bonfire, back at the Church of Yorshka, which we passed earlier. Now to finish our journey, we go through this spooky dark room, and we keep going through this boggy area, and straight ahead through this doorway and the dudes inside, which puts us in the Irithyll Dungeon, home of the jailers that reduce your health bar and increase your equipment load. Since we already have the jailer's key and open up this door, we can use it as a shortcut. But what the heck, we can circumvent dealing with any of those pesky jailers with this little trick speedrunners use. All you need is a silver cat ring or the spook spell. What a time save! This puts us here on the bridge where the big old gargoyle will try to stop us, but we just keep going down these rocks, up this ladder, down this other ladder, down these other rocks, past these people who shoot fireballs at us, and there's a straight shot to Yorm the Giant's boss room. Wait, why are we celebrating? This may be the end of the world, but it isn't the end of our journey. Once you've defeated a third Lord of Cinder, you're automatically transported to Emma, the woman who gives you the small Lothric banner back at the High Wall of Lothric, to fight the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. And from here, we have one more Lord of Cinder's boss room to get to, that of the Twin Princes, high atop the Grand Archives. Luckily enough, Lothric Castle has many elevators that'll make this last leg a breeze. Going that way takes you to the Consumed King's Garden, but we're trying to get to Prince Lothric, so we'll take this very slow elevator here, up to the foot of the steps of the Dragon Armor boss room, next to the Sunbro Shrine, but we'll go to the right here and take this elevator through here, all the way up to the entrance of the Twin Prince's boss room. Just gotta be careful not to get seen by any of these knights here. We didn't have to mess with the Dragon Barracks or even go through the Grand Archives, all thanks to these handy elevators. Now we've done it. Cue the music. That's not the music! That's it. That's all I got for you. We made it from one side of Dark Souls 3 all the way to the other. And a little bit further as well. It may be the same as when we started off, but I'd say it was a transformative journey nonetheless. Transformative of the soul. The Dark Soul. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Join me again sometime here in Lothric. Maybe we'll go on another journey. Bye-bye!